Some people like to spend Valentine's Day with their significant other over a steak dinner and wine, lit up by soft candlelight. But I am no romantic. I make it a point to get shit-faced on someone else's dime, get laid, and afterward, enjoy the candy by myself. I'm sure that such a playboy attitude is considered ugly in a woman, but that doesn't stop Jeb, what's his name, from answering me on Blender. He meets me outside a bar, and I knock back a few martinis, listening to him make comments about the other bargoers. He doesn't waste much time talking about himself. If he does, I tune it out and forget. I only start to care when he takes me by the waist and pulls us outside. I only care when he goes silent, leading me up the stairs into his dim apartment. I tune back in when his fingers tangle up in my hair, and he pulls the scalp a little too roughly. I smile against his lips as he feels me up, stumbling backward toward his bed. I only feel alive when I get him inside me and sense that beating heart beneath my fingers. I like getting it on in the dark. They can't see when I start sprouting an octa set of extra legs. Sometimes I manage to actually nab a guy that isn't useful to society. This isn't one of those times. Two hairy black pedipalps pierce the stomach off. From what I can figure, he's a decent guy. I think he mentioned being a doctor or a nurse, some career with definitely a higher morality than I can appreciate. Because I'm not the type of person who's going to hem and haw about whether I go to the store and my chocolate bar is broken in the middle. I don't care if I'm stealing the last one in supply, straight from the kid's hand. I'm going to use my mandibles to rip open the package, and God help whoever gets in my way. I don't care anything about the outer presentation, or the finer ingredients that make up Jeb, what's his name. I'm only here for the warm and gooey surprise center. And I find that if I do this every night and wrap up what's left over, I don't have to wait once a year to receive those delectable little candied hearts.
A perfect match, she thought, would have fulfilled all her dreams and expectations, and lit right away on the first strike, igniting the Bond couple at her feet quickly, without sputtering. But so often, one had to settle for a less than perfect match, and strike 3 or 4 times, hoping the flame would take and consume her husband and the slut he had been screwing. Before their screams of disbelief, then anguish reached unwanted ears. Either way, though, she thought, leaving the scene, I'm going to have a happy Valentine's Day.
When the champagne arrives, I know exactly what to expect. He's been dropping hints all evening, all week even, talking about our date non-stop, disappearing for hours with the vague excuse of shopping. And wow, isn't it great how his friend Mike is getting married soon? Oof. made us watch the proposal last night, for crying out loud. Nick's got marriage on the brain, and I know he's enough of a romantic to wait until Valentine's Day to pop the question. The waiter sidles up to our table just before dessert. 2 flutes of champagne balanced on a tray. Nick takes them both from him, setting his down first and pausing before passing me mine. I tactfully look away as Nick slips something from his palm into one of the glasses, but I can hear the soft splash and plink of it dropping in and hitting the bottom. When he hands me the glass, I position my fingers around it so I can't see the ring. If he's trying to be subtle about it, I'll play along. Besides, this is an important moment. I don't want my first look at my new engagement ring to be some kind of accidental sideways glance. To us, Nick says, raising his glass. I smile, clinking our glasses together. To us. Then I follow his lead and take a sip of champagne. There's a funny tang to the liquid as it hits my tongue, but it's bound to taste a little strange with a ring in it. You never know what chemicals they put on those things to make them sparkle. Nick's watching me carefully, his own drink already back on the table, so I know he's waiting for me to notice. I tip the glass a little further back, but pause as something bumps against my lips. The small smile on Nick's face turns into a full-blown grin. This is the moment. I fake mild surprise, shooting him a questioning glance before putting the glass away and taking a look at it. The first thing I notice is the color. His champagne is normal, that beautiful light amber color. Mine's more pink, verging on red. The second thing I notice is the severed finger resting in my glass. It's sticking straight up, the tip just reaching the surface of the champagne. It's still wearing a diamond ring that taps against the sides of the glass as my hand shakes. Katie, Nick breathes, reaching across the table to take my hand in his. Will you marry me? I committed suicide. I died, but I didn't. I don't know how she does it. I feel the cold, unforgiving metal against my temple. I feel my quivering finger against the trigger. I hear a click, then a roar, then something rushing through my head, and then nothing. But then I hear her voice, and the bullet comes out of my head, and the wound closes, and the gun is out of my hand, and I'm standing in front of her. We met at a work party. She snuck whiskey into a flask and was taking swigs of it all through the night. She ended up drinking too much, and I had to take her home. One thing led to another, and we got married 2 years later. She changed so slowly, I didn't even realize it had happened. I'd come home during the first few weeks of our marriage to find her in her room. Working. She'd look up at me and smile, ask me how my day went. But after a year, she was cold, aloof. She criticized everything I did, claiming I no longer cared for her. She attacked our children with vile words and painful But I can't give up on us. It's my fault she changed, she says. And she's right. I only considered suicide because it became apparent that I was not good enough for her. She deserved nothing but the best, and I was not the best. I needed to go. I tried cutting my wrists, hanging myself from the ceiling fan, overdosing on tablets. Everything I tried succeeded, but I always find myself alive. I like to think that my love for her is too strong. It won't let me give up on us. If we weren't meant to be together, we would have broken up long ago. Oh, I love her. Even though she storms and screams and hits and hurts, I love her. Even though our children merely survive, not live. Because of her, I'd do anything for her.
I found his cold, lifeless body today. Again, there was blood all over the floor. I'm getting tired of cleaning up the messes he makes when he kills himself. I don't deserve this kind of treatment, damn it. I drew the bullet out of his head and woke him up. He started crying. He always cries when I tell him what's wrong, telling me to stop. Stop! Ha! As if he has a reason to cry. I've done everything I can to show him what it means to love me. It's not my fault that the way he does it isn't the right way. I keep bringing him back to life because he needs to learn.